So Adam and Eve sinned. They destroyed creation. And God promised a Savior to them. But then God didn't say, okay, guys, you keep on living in the Garden of Eden and everything's going to be just great. God said, now you need to leave the Garden of Eden. And it's interesting, in Genesis 3, it says that God has to drive them out of the garden. They can't just stay there, and they don't want to listen to God. There are consequences for what they've done, and they're pushed into those consequences. When you sin, sometimes there are consequences, aren't there? Maybe you have sinned in such a way that relationship, even when forgiveness is given, is never quite restored to the way it was, and it won't be this side of heaven. If you're truly apologizing, you need to accept those consequences. That doesn't mean that you're happy about them. That doesn't mean you say, yes, sir, may I have another? It does mean you say, you know what, I've sinned, and there are consequences to that sin, and I accept them. And as you step forward in those consequences, understand that even though those consequences are real, and even though they hurt, what did God do with Adam and Eve? There were consequences, but they were still promised a Savior. And God still sent his Son to rescue them. In your life, there may be consequences when you apologize. And those consequences are real. But Jesus was still sent for you. You are rescued by what Jesus has done. Even in the consequences, you are forgiven.